All right, and I think we're live.
All right, we're live. Let's do this.
Okay, so today we have a special cast of characters. We have me, your GM, of course, and I will be conducting our today's story. And we also have our player today, Tyler. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, I am Argath, and I'm gonna be playing a Goliath.
All right, and also we have Ronnie, who's going to be commentating.
Hello.
Hello.
He has also been playing the game quite a bit. His current character is Lil Ro until he dies of dysentery in the next campaign. Don't worry about that.
Oof.
So, Argath, would you like to explain anything about your character?
Uh, I am a Goliath. I live in a village in the north called Anakalaga. Oh wait, no, that's not the name of the village. That's the name of my tribe in my village.
Yeah, it's basically, well, for now, let's just call it your village name. It'll be more.
Okay.
It'll make more sense later.
Okay. Yep. Actually, I need a. Well, never mind. Never mind. I live
Okay.
in the northern mountains next to Mentos.
All right, and I'll put that up on the screen right now. Here's the world map. It's kind of hard to see on my screen since mine is kind of small, but hopefully you guys can see it if you full screen it. Tyler, can you show the audience where you are?
I can't
Yeah,
interact with them.
just describe like what locations it's near and like where it is on the general area of the map.
Can you can you zoom in? Hold on.
Here,
Hold on.
yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
can zoom
full
in.
screen. Yeah, zoom in where I live at. 'Cause I
So,
can't read. That's why I have glasses because I can't read. By the way.
okay.
Okay. A little bit more. Yeah. A little bit more. A little bit more. Cool. So, okay, what's going on? Okay. So, all right, all right, I live in like the mountains to like the left of Mento. I live in like that like little valley thing next to there. The next big city is Bredia or Bredia.
Yeah, it's Bredia.
Breed, yeah.
But
Bread.
yeah, he lives in the area right next to Mento in that little valley, like he just said. All right. And with that, I think we can begin our little journey. Let us
All right.
begin.
Okay.
All right. So,
All right.
as we begin, we see our characters, our parents' characters. What is their names? Your mother and father.
All right. My dad's name is Naloth and my mom's name is Lathia.
All right. So, with that, your mother and father, braving the winter, you were born seemingly in the middle of winter, where everyone is huddled in for the survival. You are born with the name Argath. And can you describe a little bit about your parents?
My dad, Naloth, is one of the tribal leaders, and my mom is a cook slash hunter gatherer. So she hunts for the food and then she cooks it.
All right. So, as you're growing up, let us see what happens when you're a baby.
I'm a baby.
Okay. So, first of all, um, what's your fourth stat? Wisdom or intelligence?
Intelligence.
All right. And what's your sixth stat?
Charisma.
All right. So, as you're growing up as a baby, you always seem to be grabbing things and checking out what they are. And you're also loved by many in the village. Your mother, since she is a hunter-gatherer, goes out much of the time to go hunt for the village. And your father, since he is more of a leader for the tribe, he isn't able to take care of you a lot of the time. So you're passed around from family to family, and you get to meet a lot of people. So with that, your intelligence goes up by 1, and your charisma also goes up by 1. From your pool, make sure you -2.
Right. So. All right, we're good.
All right. So, they eventually, as you grow up, you become more cognitive. You remember more things. You're introduced to different people in the tribe, and eventually, you get a little bit closer with your mother, who obviously feeds you with all the things that she's gathered through her time out in the wilderness. She seems to bring back mainly elk and moose and a couple of berries here and there that she's found along the way. You realize slowly that your mother is well respected in this village, and that she doesn't just only collect for her family, but the entire tribe, as if they were her family as well. Your father, on the other hand, gets in fights every once in a while. You know that every once in a while he'd come home bruised and bloodied. You're not sure why. He didn't really talk about it, but you also know that he is the most respected person in your village, and he's made sure for you to know that.
Okay.
So, as we continue growing up, you eventually get to your early stages of life. You're about 7, 8 years old at this time, and you eventually get to know the village a lot better. You know that the village is pretty small, and it is called Anacagala.
Anacalaga.
Anacalaga. Yes, that's what they call it.
Colada, but Anacalaga.
Yes, Anacalaga. And you know that the tribe is made up of different Goliaths who come in and out of the village when they're bloodied and bruised or hungry and starving, and then they pass through almost to go back out in the wilderness. You're not sure why. Would you like to do anything at this age?
I just want to learn how to really get good with like survival stuff, like cutting wood and then learning how to make fires, that type of thing at a young age.
Okay, so you show interest to your parents about learning the ways of the wilderness, since you see many people go in and out. And your mother pats you on the head and says, "Oh, sweetie, I will show you one day. You'll be able to come hunt with us." And she says, "Let's just wait a couple more years before you're ready for that. But your father can show you how to skin animals and make fires here in the village. Isn't that right?" And your father looks down and kind of nods. And he brings you out over to the woodcutting area, and he says, "Swing axe."
Papa.
All right, so I'd like you to make an athletics check.
Ooh, hold up. Do proficiencies do anything yet?
You don't have any proficiencies.
No proficiencies.
You are a baby.
Your mom. Okay. That is a 15.
A 15. As you swing the axe, you realize you're naturally adept for the ways of strength. And you chop the log in half on your first go. And he looks down, approving of you. And he picks you up and says, "This is the way of our village. You will learn how to be strong, just like me." And he beats his chest. And he puts you down again, and he says, "Enough for today." And he points back over to a pile of logs and says, "This is what you do now."
Papa.
All right. So he walks away and leaves you out in the village sort of side area with a pile of logs. What do you do?
I'm just hacking away at those logs. I figured out I'm doing pretty good.
All right. Make an athletics check.
That's an 18.
All right. You're doing very well. You're making very much progress. Also make a Constitution saving throw.
That's a that is a -1.
Okay,
no.
after a couple logs, you realize that your life of eating great has also left you a little chubby. So your endurance is not very good. You after a couple logs, you can slice them in half in one go, but you can't do very many.
Dang, that's tough. That's tough, bro.
So was there anything else you wanted to do?
What does it look like everyone else is doing right now?
You see different people are across the village seeming to bring in some meat and oxen, and they also seem to go to let me see. They also seem to be heading towards a main like huge building in the middle of town.
All right. I want to go to the building.
All right. So you head over there and you eventually go through the drapes that cover where the door should be. And you realize this is a huge dining hall. The only way I can really describe it is a more tribal version of like the hall in Harry Potter where they all eat. It looks like that a lot, except a lot of it's more cold and dark.
Okay. So what food is in there right now?
You see that people are like cooking right now. No one's eating.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna bother someone in the kitchen.
All right. So you see multiple people in the kitchen. You see that you recognize some of them because some of them are the people who helped raise you, and they seem to be chopping up meat and skinning animals.
What are their names?
Well, let us see. Who is there? You see Kursk, who is a Goliath, big, strong man, who is hauling one of the elks from over his shoulder onto the meat cutting table and slowly starts hacking away. You also see Reba, his wife, seemingly skinning one of the other animals and putting some seasoning on it.
I tried.
Who do you say that to?
Reba, is that her name?
Reba, yes.
Yeah, Reba.
She looks down at you and says, "Do your parents not know you where you are right now?"
No.
She looks down and says, "Oh, no matter. Of course you can try." And she hands you a giant cleaver that I'm gonna make you do a athletics check to see if you can hold it.
That's an 18.
You pick up the cleaver almost like it was a long sword.
Bro, I'm a strong 7-year-old.
She kind of brings you up and sets you on one of the stools, and before you see a dead elk with its innards being gutted.
I look at her kind of just like, do I like chop?
She points towards the head with his tongue sticking out.
Okay, I'm gonna chop the head off.
All right, make an athletics check.
Ew, that's a 6.
A 6. As you bring the cleaver down, you hit bone and you cannot chop through, although blood spurts and gets all over your clothes.
I just kind of laugh and just like rub the blood all over my face and stuff.
She looks over at you and laughs. She brings up the cleaver and with one hand slices the head off and puts it over to the side. And she says, "Well, if you'd like to watch me do my job, then maybe you would get good at it one day. Maybe you can take over as a village cook, just like your mom did."
Yeah.
All right.
I'm just like smearing the blood on my face and just messing around with it.
They approve wholeheartedly and are laughing at your shenanigans. So for the rest of the day, would you just like to see how the preparing of the meat is done?
Yes.
All right. So the rest of the day goes by until your parents eventually find you inside the kitchen area and the dining hall and ask where you've been all this time.
Well, I chop wood. And then I chop deer head.
The mother looks over at you and says, "Oh dear, he's fine. He's just trying to learn the ways of our tribe." And the father looks over and nods his head, and slowly walks away and sits down at the table where you guys usually eat. Your mother grabs you and sits you down next to your father, and you guys prepare for your meal for the night.
Cool.
Okay. All right, so as you do, you have your meal, and we're going to skip ahead a little bit more. So at these early stages of life, what do you prioritize?
Survival and just like really like fending for myself type thing, because that's the emphasis my parents are wanting to.
Well, it is very hard to do that at this age because you are with your parents and you're so young.
Right. So like I mean like
Be more specific.
again just like cutting wood, starting fires, going like they said that I can't hunt yet. So I mean, would I be able to like go with my mom when she hunts?
She
Like,
tells you
as time
no.
passes? Okay. Never mind.
Maybe later, but not now.
All right. Okay, so prioritizing like making fires and stuff, and I'm gonna work out
All right.
some chubby.
Anything else you want to prioritize in? Or is it like all going into that?
Kind of all going into that.
All right. So with that, you spend the next few years realizing you need to get in shape in order to hunt. And your one goal in life, the one prize thing that you want to be, is a hunter. And you want to join your mother out. You in your room, one of her most prized possessions sits on your mantle. It seems to be a framed head of some sort of creature. It seems to look like some sort of wolf, but very massive. Its head sits above your bed case, and you look at it every day, reminding you of what you want to be. So eventually, you continue working at it. I'm gonna make you make an athletics check.
Oh shoot. 14.
14. All right. So you continue working at it. You chop logs. You pick up stones and help move them for the tribe. And eventually you help people with their jobs every once in a while if they have something to do here or there. Of course, they don't pay you because it's more tribal work, but you do eventually get better. But since you're spending so much time worrying about getting stronger, I'm going to make you have a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. 12.
A 12. Eventually, as you're working one day, you fall ill, and I'm gonna have you make another Constitution saving throw.
No.
10.
A 10. You realize that your mother has to take care of you most of the time, and she can no longer go out hunting. This takes a few months to get better. And 1 second, I'm gonna roll. Okay. And as you do, you realize that as you're getting sick, it seems like you have an infection of some sorts, and that's where your mother starts talking to you about how they might need to heal you by going off somewhere.
How old am I now?
You seem to be about 10 years old.
Okay. So, all
Do you say anything to her?
right. Mom, where are you going?
She says, we need to go travel somewhere. There's another tribe. They're in hiding right now, but I think we might be able to find them. I've tracked them down over the last couple days. They might be able to heal you.
Um, so am I going with them, or is it just like they're going by themselves to figure out
Oh,
if
you're
they
going
can
with
even
them.
get help? Okay. Okay, Mom.
All right. So I'm going to make you make a constitution saving throw.
That's a 9.
A 9. Got it. As you do, when you make the journey, since it's so cold out and you have to spend most nights next to a small fire with you and your mom and dad, you eventually grow more sick from the infection. It seems to come from your lungs and rise up through your nose, almost like a fire. And your
Oh.
fever only gets worse. I'm gonna make you make a wisdom
nice.
saving throw.
12.
12, got it. As you are trying to stay awake most of the days, you realize that it's no longer really feasible. You fall asleep with your mother on the oxen as your father leads the way. And then eventually, since most of the time you're passed out from just your feverishness, all you really remember is entering into a cave, a cold, damp cave. And eventually, seeing some sort of light above you, and then you wake up in your bed back in the village.
Okay. So, am I better?
You seem to be fine, although it will take a little bit to get back to 100%.
Okay. I'm gonna try to get up and moving.
All right, so you just want to spend the rest of your time trying to like work yourself,
Um,
or are you
I'm
gonna
gonna
take it
take it-
easy?
I'm gonna take it easy for a bit,
Okay.
and then man, uh, I'm gonna try to cook.
All right. So, do you wish to just head into the dining hall every day and try to learn how to cook?
Yeah.
All right. So, skipping past a couple of years, you seem to be now about 11. So this is from when you were 7 to 11.
Okay.
This is what you get. Give me a second. I'm gonna check this.
Skip a couple years from 10 to 11. That's what I thought you were saying. I
No,
was
no.
like, hold up. I don't think it
This
works
is
like that.
yeah. This is just from when you were 7
All
to
right.
11.
All right.
Okay. So your strength gets increased by 3.
Oh, dang. Okay. All right. I mean, I'm fine with that. I need to write that down. I have a 12 in strength now. How old am I? 11?
Seems to be 11. Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Your dexterity gets increased by none. Your constitution gets increased by none. Your wisdom and intelligence get increased by none. Actually, no. Your wisdom gets increased by 1 because you're learning how to cook.
Okay.
And your charisma increases by none. Since you prioritized in basically making your body better, pretty much solely, other than learning how to cook, that's why you get those stats.
Gotcha.
All right. So eventually, after you learn in the kitchen and their ways of like different animals and stuff, your mother notices and thinks that you're ready to go out hunting with her. Do you accept?
Yeah.
All right. So, when she tells you that we're going out hunting, she says, stay by my side as much as you can. But if you notice that you can get one of the smaller animals, go out and go do your own thing. She'll be right by your side. So,
Yes, Mom.
she opens up her chest in her room that you normally don't go in. It seems to be your parents' room, and it seems to be a very old and dusty chest. And she opens it, and 3 different weapons lie inside. And she says, "Choose one."
Uh,
There seems to be a javelin, and there seems to be a short bow, and there also seems to be a sorry, looking. Also seems to be a war pike.
war pike. That's just like a spear, isn't it?
A war pike is a little different than a spear. Basically, a war pike is basically a long spear, but it has only a blade on one side, so you can swing it almost like a long sword,
Oh,
but you can also throw it like a
gotcha.
javelin.
Okay.
So you have the war pike you can choose from, the short bow, or the javelin.
Man.
I can tell you the different properties if you'd like.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay, so the javelin is 1d6 piercing, is 2 pounds, and can be thrown. The short bow is 1d6 piercing, and also has ammunition and has to be 2-handed.
Okay.
And the short bow is also 2 pounds. The war pike is 1d8 piercing and is 2 pounds, and you cannot throw it.
I'll do war pike.
All right. Got it.
And that's 1d8,
Yes.
and then I add my strength, correct?
Well, I think since you're not proficient in it, you don't get to add anything.
Oh, that's true. Right. Yeah. Okay, my bad. I need to get d8 out now.
But the cool thing about this playstyle is that you could become proficient with it before you're level 1, or even if your class wouldn't be.
Right. That is cool.
All right.
Cool.
So do you wish to go out hunting with your mother?
Yes.
All right. And as you do, she talks to you about how you're seeming to be getting a lot older, and you're really applying yourself to your work. You're gonna be rising up in the tribe like no other.
I want to be strong like Dad.
She looks at you and says, "Well, in order to be like that, you need to put yourself out in the wild, like us." And she points out into the wilderness where you're going, and you see the snow raging in the distance, and saying, "You might die out here. I might die out here. Any day now, we might not come home. Do you realize this?"
Yes, Mom.
All right, and you guys continue. So I'm gonna make you make a perception check.
Sorry. 15.
15. Got it. As you look around, since there is snow raging in the forest where you are, you can't really see much. Is there anything you'd like to do specifically to try to do anything like hunting wise?
I'm gonna look for tracks.
All right, make a nature check.
8.
8. You don't notice any tracks. As you continue down, your mother eventually stops you where you are and says, "Shh, do you see that?"
See what?
She points up into the sky, and you see a small bird.
Yeah, I see it.
She says, "Stay right here," and she reaches back into the saddle on the oxen where she keeps various things. She pulls out a bow and an arrow, and she slowly cocks it back and lets it go. And right out of the sky, while the bird's on a tree, it gets pierced by the arrow, and he falls down to the ground. She says, "Go grab it. I'm gonna go grab the eggs," and she starts climbing the tree.
All right, I'm gonna grab the bird.
All right. Make a perception check.
12.
12. It takes you a while to find the bird, and you come off the path quite a bit, but eventually you find it on the ground. It is twitching. It seems to be still alive. The arrow has pierced one of its wings.
Okay. I'm gonna take the pike, and I'm just gonna like stab him.
All right. So I'm not even gonna make you roll for that. You just do it. You kill the bird, and blood comes out of it, and eventually toils the snow below. I'm gonna make you make a stealth check.
That's a 1.
Okay,
not
now
natural.
that one. Okay.
No, not that one.
All right.
That's tough, bro. Oh wait, sorry. No. That's a 0.
Oh my gosh.
But not a nat 1.
But
It's just
not
a
a
0.
nat. Yeah.
You got a 2, and it's the modifier is -2.
Yeah. I just
All right.
got wrecked.
So with that, you realize that is not the only blood on the snow.
Crap.
You look over at the snow raging, not moving a muscle, and you notice blood dripping on the ground.
Then I'll look up where it's dripping from.
All right, give me a second. You realize that the bird that you're having in your hands that you crushed seems to be no longer living, but you also realize that there's something under him.
All right, I try to see what it is.
All right. So as you flip the bird over, you realize that its intestines are spilled out, almost like it's been pecked to death.
Okay. Do I look up at all to see where the blood's dripping from?
Yes, you do. Make a perception check. Or investigation, in this case.
Shoot. That is a 17.
Okay. As you look up, you see it's coming from a tree in the distance. The blood on the ground is distinguishable by the red on the white. But since there's a tree there, you're not sure where it's dripping from.
Mom!
You do not hear a response. You're too far away.
Oh, so I'm like at a completely different place.
Yeah, you
is.
walked over to try to go find the bird.
Okay, my bad. Okay. I try to climb the tree.
All right, as you approach, I'm going to have you make a dexterity saving throw.
That's a 4.
A 4.
Oh no, sorry, that's a 3.
A 3. Okay, wow. As you approach, something comes out of the tree. You look over and something almost goes at you like a dart from one of the tree branches. You realize it's a green figure with wings, and it's going straight for you. And it latches onto your arm and curls around. It looks like a snake with wings.
Oh no.
So I'm going to roll for damage. How much health do you have, by the way?
4.
Okay. Does a total of...
No, that'd be 3 because my modifier.
Yeah, it does a total of 2 piercing damage as it bites you. At this point, your mother is coming and running at you from one of the trees. She says, "Put your arm up!"
All right, I put my arm up.
All right. She runs at you with seeming to be a short sword in her hands. And as she runs up, the snake is too busy biting your hand to know that she is running over. And at the last second, he looks over, and your mother brings up the short sword and slices it along your hand, along your forearm, to where it falls off into multiple pieces. She says, "Are you all right?"
I'm okay, Mom.
She says, "Please, don't wander off like that if you can't handle yourself."
Yes, Mom.
She picks up the head of the thing, and its wings are flopping as they're limp. She says, "This is a flying snake. This could have killed you."
But it didn't.
All right, make a persuasion check.
That's a 2. All right, this is great.
She looks over at you kind of angrily and says, "You're gonna have to learn to do better, okay? Every day you're gonna come out and hunt with me, okay?"
Yes, Mom.
All right. So with that, you guys continue hunting an expedition. Make a nature check.
No, it's gonna be like, oh my goodness, that's a 1.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. Is that's hold on. Nature is wisdom, correct?
You yes, you
Yeah.
use wisdom for that.
So that'd be a 1, not nat.
All right. So, as you continue, you notice tracks on the ground, seeming to be some sort of hooves. Do you wish to point it out to your mother?
Yes.
All right. She looks down at the ground and says, "This is an elk track. This is what we're looking for. Let's follow." And you guys continue forward. Please make a stealth check.
That's a 12.
12.
That is an 11.
11, got it. As you continue, you eventually notice the elk in the distance, and she says, "Let me handle this." And she pulls out the bow and shoots at the elk. It seems to get it right in the thigh, and it starts running off and says, "We must chase it." And do you guys wish to follow ahead?
Yes.
All right. So as you follow, it's pretty easy to track because of the blood on the ground. And she says, "You take the oxen, use the pike, and kill the animal."
Yes, Mother.
All right. So you get on the oxen, and she slaps it, and the oxen rides forward. I'm gonna make you make a strength saving throw.
Oh, strength saving throw. That's 14.
Even though the oxen is going very, very wild, trying to just go as fast as he can, you still hold on with your war pike in your hands, grabbing onto the oxen with your legs as much as possible. So I'm gonna make you make a. Actually, no. Since your oxen is going anyways, it wouldn't be you. So you eventually find the elk wounded and trying to run away. The oxen is running towards it. You have only a couple second window where you can stab it. Do you wish to do it?
I'm gonna stab it. Yep, I'm
All
gonna
right.
stab it.
Make an attack roll.
That's a 4.
A 4. As you swing down, you miss it by a mile, and the elk dodges out of the way and goes for a different direction. The oxen turns around and starts charging again. You have one final shot at trying to kill the elk.
Okay. That's a 4 again.
As you swing again, I'm gonna make you make a strength saving throw.
That is a 12.
All right, so you do hang on to the oxen, but you miss again by a mile. And as you do, you see an arrow fly through the air and hit the oxen right where its heart would be. He falls to the ground dead. Oh, sorry, the elk.
Oh, okay. Whew. I was like, well, this is where Tyler dies.
Yes.
Yeah. Dang.
Sorry.
All right.
Give me a second.
Man, I was doing great at the beginning, and then it was like a series of like
Series
fours
of
and below.
Tylerisms.
Series of classic Tyler D&D rolls.
Yes.
All right. So the elk falls dead, and your mother looks over and from her bow and puts it on her back, and eventually gets the oxen and says, "Get off the ox."
All right, I get off the ox.
All right, and she says, "I'm going to give you one final test. It's going to be hard. Do you wish to accept?"
Yes, mother.
She is tying the elk on the back of the oxen and says, "All right, well, we've walked all this way. It's finally time for us to head back." And she gets on the oxen and slaps it, and she rides off into the distance, leaving you behind.
So were there 2 oxen?
No, there was
Or
not.
just 1? So she just left me.
Yes, she did.
All right, I'm gonna follow her.
All right. Do you wish to follow anything in particular? Because she's off in the snow now. All right. So make a nature check.
That is a 17.
All right. So you can find the tracks pretty easily since the snow
Oh, I
hasn't
need
covered
it.
it up yet. But I'm going to also make you roll an acrobatics to see how fast you are.
Oh no. Oh wow, that's a 16.
All right. You're getting back at quite an incredible speed. You're about a fourth of the way there. I'm going to make another nature check, because the snow is covering up the tracks quite well.
That's a 12.
You can barely see the tracks now. They seem to be getting more and more blended in with the snow.
Okay. I'm gonna keep going.
All right, so make an acrobatics.
15.
15. All right, you're about half of the way there from how fast you are. Make another nature check.
That is a 4.
You can no longer see the tracks.
I want to look for blood.
All right, make a nature check.
That's a nat 20.
As you look on the ground, you see a trail of blood.
All right, I'm gonna follow it.
All right, acrobatics.
That's a 7.
You are losing speed just because of how breakneck fast you're going from this entire time. So you're slowing down quite a bit. I'm gonna make you make a Constitution saving throw.
That's a 4.
4. You are out of breath at this point and can't continue unless you take a break.
I'm gonna take a break and try to make a fire.
All right. So make a survival check.
Nat 20.
All right. From all your training that you had at an early age, trying to learn the survival skills that you would need out in the wilderness, you know it quite well, and you make it a fire with ease. You put rocks around it, and you shelter it over with a branch from the snow so it doesn't go out. So it's beginning to be sunset. It's getting darker out.
Okay. Man, so I'm like halfway there.
Yeah, you're halfway there.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna try to build like a shelter.
All right. Out of what? And how are you doing it?
Wood.
So you're making like a tiny little hut for you to sleep in?
Yes, yep.
Okay. So please make a survival check.
That is a 17.
17. You make it. It seems to be very like flimsy, so it wouldn't stand up to much force, but it is enough to protect you from some of the cold wind.
Cool.
All right. So what do you wish to do? You are now back to the point where you can start heading out again, or you can stay here.
Oh man. I'm gonna head out.
All right. So you wish to leave your shelter?
Yes.
All right. So make an acrobatics check. Actually, no. Make a nature check first.
Okay. A nature check.
Yeah.
That's a 12.
12. You no longer see the blood.
I'm gonna just head in the general direction where
Alright.
I thought.
So make a nature check.
That is a 1. Not nat.
You continue out. Make an acrobatics check.
That is a 6.
You don't go.
And this goes
You don't
terrible.
go extremely far because of your speed, but you eventually get lost in the wilderness. You're not sure where you are. And it's like nighttime now.
Okay, I'm gonna try to make another fire.
All right, make a nature check.
It's an 11.
You don't make it as well as this time, but you do make the fire.
Okay. I'm going to make another shelter.
All right, make a survival check.
That is a 17.
17. Got it. So, you make the shelter. You are now here. What do you wish to do?
I'm gonna try to make traps around where I'm at.
All right, what kind of traps?
Like, maybe like bear trap-esque things.
Okay. So how are you gonna make that, and what materials are you gonna use?
What do I have on me?
Well, that's you. Well, from your backstory, you wouldn't really have anything other than your war pike.
Okay, well, just kidding. Shoot. All right, I'm not gonna make any traps then.
All right. So, what do you wish to do then? It is
I'm gonna stay
nighttime.
for the night.
All right. You eventually get very hungry and very tired. You eventually fall asleep. I'd like you. What's your passive perception, actually?
It's gonna be a 9.
Okay. I'm gonna have you. Here, let me roll real quick. Okay. So eventually, you wake up to footsteps out in the wilderness.
Okay, I grab my pike.
All right. So you hear the steps approaching you from out in the darkness.
Can I see it?
The fire is barely lighting the area where you're at, so no.
I'm just gonna stick the pike out
All right.
and brace myself, ready myself.
And as you do, a man steps out. He seems to be a Goliath with a bald head and a long, sort of brown beard. He seems to be wearing some sort of armor, and he says, "Who are you?"
Name is Argath.
Where do you hail?
Anakalaga.
All right, and he starts walking away.
Wait, who are you?
He keeps walking.
I want to follow him.
All right. Do you wish to not be known, or do you just want him to like know that you're following him?
Man. I mean, I think it'd be obvious that I'm trying to follow him at this point. Because he's the only other person out here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm just following him.
All right. So as you follow him, he looks back at you and sees that you're following him, and then ignores you. He keeps going.
Okay. I'm gonna keep following him.
All right. Eventually, you get back to a familiar area. It seems to be the outside of your village. He enters in through one of the open areas, and he disappears into one of the houses.
All right, I'm gonna go to my house.
All right. And as you do, you enter in, and at the front door, you see your mother waiting there patiently. She looks up and says, "That was quicker than I expected."
Well, I have a great teacher.
All right. Make a persuasion check.
I'll roll like a nat 1 or something. Okay, that's a 13.
All right. She says, "Now that you've passed this challenge, you will be able to come with me to hunt." Over the years, you will grow stronger, and eventually you will have to take over by yourself. But until then, you will be with me.
Yes, Mom.
All right. So she heads back in and heads to her room. Do you wish to sleep for the night?
I'm gonna eat.
Yes. Okay. You go back to the dining hall and you see there's some leftovers from the night before, and you just eat some.
All right.
All right. So do you wish to head to bed?
Yes.
All right. So with that, you go to bed, and we're going to continue to skip past a little bit. So, what do you prioritize in these years? This is going to be from 11 to about 14. So these are your early teenage years.
Yeah. I'm going to work on like my build, getting in better shape for like survival.
Okay. So
And
like
stuff. So,
overall
like-
build for surviving.
Yes.
All right.
Make sure like I can take a hit type thing.
Got it. So, anything else that you want to prioritize?
The chat said to make sure to include voice cracks.
Okay. Who said that?
Is Ellie?
Okay.
No. I'm just gonna try to build myself out better, be able to take a hit or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe prioritize like hand to hand as well as like learning how to use a pike well.
Okay. So, first of all, we're gonna roll for your overall well-being with trying to get your body in shape. So, roll a athletics check.
Ooh, that is a 16. Or sorry, 17.
17. You seem to be doing very well. You eat very well because of your tribe, and you continue forward. Make a Constitution saving throw.
14.
14. You also get yourself prepared to be able to continue forward because you know that before with running, you ran out of charge a lot of the time. This is made to be able to be your endurance grows stronger. So also roll persuasion.
That is an 18.
18. Eventually, you talk to your parents trying to find a sparring partner, and so you can get better at hand-to-hand combat. You eventually convince them, and your dad takes you over to an area of the village that he introduces you to one of the teachers there. He seems to be... let me see. Actually, she seems to be... a Goliath with black hair coming up into a bun, and she introduces herself as Grigri.
Grigri?
Yeah, Gri. And she says that she will be your new teacher, along with some other students in the ways of fighting.
Yeah, I'd love to learn from you.
All right. She tells you the work will be hard and the training will be tough, but if you do your hardest, there's a chance you might be able to succeed.
All right.
All right. So what I'm gonna make you do is so with the pike, the war pike, I'm gonna see what you use for that, strength or dexterity.
I want to learn to use a pike. It's so weird seeing myself delayed on the Twitch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Also, another thing with the war pike that you should know is you get to choose whether it does piercing or slashing damage.
Oh man.
And that's attack by attack roll. So you can choose to pierce someone or slash someone.
Oh, gotcha.
And you can strike opponents 10 feet away.
Okay.
But it is two-handed. So with that, she takes away your weapon and says we're going to learn fist combat for now. So I'm going to make you roll a first a strength save.
18.
18. You seem to be exceedingly well with your strikes, making sure they are powerful with each punch. Make a dex save.
That's a 2.
Your fighting style definitely seems to be more strike heavy and make sure you get good points on them rather than keep giving them a fury of blows for a bunch of times. Make a Constitution save.
18.
18. You also seem to be able to take a lot of blows. So your fighting style over the next couple of years that you've learned is strike heavy and block as much as possible. So with that, you eventually get to be one of the top of your class with how good you are at fighting. So what was the other thing you wanted to prioritize?
So, I was wanting to be able to be better built to take a punch. Okay, shoot. All right, first voice crack. Take a punch. To be able to punch, and then to be able to use a war pike.
Okay, so you don't want to put any of your stuff into hunting? Because this will be the last one.
Dang.
Honestly, Tyler,
Yeah.
I would try to put a little into hunting because if you
Yeah,
end up traveling places, you're gonna
Right.
need to be able to find food.
Look at that. We got commentary. Yeah, I'll do.
But that's just me.
Yeah.
So what are you prioritizing for this last one?
Hunting.
All right. So what about hunting? Are you going to prioritize like being able to track animals or killing blows or stealthing around?
Man.
Stealth. Well,
That's
no,
tough.
stealth is something you're already weak in, so you could go with that to try to neutralize the weakness, or you
Right.
could try to do killing them really well, which would support your already really strong areas. Or if you do the tracking, I don't know if you're already good at tracking or not, but
No, I'm not.
tracking
Not good
can
at
be
tracking
useful
or
for
stealth.
more than just animals. Just keep that in
Right.
mind.
True. So I'll probably do tracking.
Tracking. Got it. So I'm going to make you make a nature check.
Ew, that is a 5.
A 5. You spend most of your time trying to track animals to pretty much no avail, but your efforts are not wasted because eventually it makes you better at them. Even though you fail now, that leads for the way for you to succeed later. So, what was the first thing we prioritized in?
It was striking, like hand to hand, and I got really good at it.
Yes.
I think.
So, with your strength, we're going to increase that by a total of 2.
Okay, so I believe I'm at 37 now.
Okay.
37 points.
And what's your strength right now?
16.
16. Got it.
Wow.
With your
Impressive.
dexterity, we are since you have to be out in the wild a lot of the time, I'm only going to increase that by 1 because you do have to do some walking places and all that.
Right. Okay.
All right, and with your constitution, being able to take a blow has been one of your priorities, so we're going to increase that by 2.
Cool.
Also,
Nice.
keep track of every time we upgrade something. Put a number
Yeah,
next
I
to
am.
it. Okay. So next is your intelligence, right?
Yep.
Nothing. With your wisdom, though, since you spent most of your time tracking, I'm going to let you increase that by 2. And charisma is nothing. So what are your stats right now?
So I have 16 strength. I have 8 dexterity, 11 constitution, 8 intelligence, 8 wisdom, and 8 oh wait. No, I have 10 wisdom now. And then 8 charisma.
All right.
What is your how many times have you upgraded your strength so far?
I think twice.
Oh. How was it a 14 already?
What? No, we've upgraded it way more times than that.
We have?
Your strength got increased.
Because I started with the +2 strength because of my race.
Yes, and
so
then
that should make it a 9. If you're at 16,
Yes.
that means you've upgraded
Yeah,
it 7
increase-
times.
No. Because he gave me a +3 strength to start off after I did some stuff.
No,
and then he gave me a
that counts
+2.
towards
I
your
think
pool.
those count.
Yeah, those can count towards your pool.
Oh, my racial bonuses?
No.
Not your racial bonuses, the +3 he gave you to start out with.
Right.
Did you count those towards your pool?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
So how many times have we upgraded?
Oh, wait. Hold on. Okay, hold on.
Should be 7, I think.
1, 2,
Because if
3,
you're at
4,
7,
5,
we need
6,
to do
7.
some
Yeah.
stuff. All right,
Yeah.
so it does, I think 5 to 6 is 2, right, Ronnie?
5 to 6 is 2.
And then 6 to 7 is 2.
Yeah.
So
7
make
to
sure
8 is 3.
make sure you mark off 2 more from your pool.
Okay, hold on. So, okay, so the first thing I had was 45 to 43, 43 to 40, which is my +3 strength, I believe. So that was 12.
Okay.
-1 for... I had a couple -1s for my dex, intelligence, and charisma. Wait, no, I didn't mess with my charisma, I don't think. Right?
You did not increase your charisma at all.
Okay, so why do I have an 8?
I don't
I'm
know.
gonna fix that. Okay. So I have a total of 16, but without a modifier, it's 14. So 16 strength, 8 dexterity, 10 constitution, 8 intelligence, 10 wisdom, and 7 charisma.
So how many times have we upgraded strength?
I think twice.
No, because
I've
we
got-
upgraded it 3 times at the beginning. Remember, Tyler?
No, I'm saying we upgraded 2 separate times, 1 +3 and 1 +2.
Yes, add all those
So
up.
I'm saying, yeah, so it's 5.
So we upgraded it 5 times. Okay. So after that, if we upgrade it from for any of your stats, if we upgrade it from 5 to 6, it's going to cost more. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So continuing forward, we are getting to your early teenage years. You are about 13, 14 right now. And eventually, one day, your dad approaches you while you're doing your work and says, "You're not going hunting today. You're going to be with me."
Yes, Dad.
All right. And he leaves the door open for you, and he walks out into the wilderness. Do you wish to follow?
Yeah. Oh, so I still have 4 HP.
Yes, you still have 4 HP.
All right.
Well, plus your Constitution modifier.
So that'd be 0. Actually, so I'd have a total of 3 HP.
Well, you don't
So that
add
messed
negatives.
Oh, you don't?
No, you don't.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So I would have 4 HP then.
Okay.
Cool. Cool. All right. So yeah, I follow him.
One second. I just have to write something down.
Well, maybe spending time with your dad will help increase your intelligence.
I don't care about intelligence.
Well,
It makes
true.
sense because
don't
I
really
just.
the only thing intelligence would help you with is like
Magic.
nature checks when you're.
Oh. I thought nature's not wisdom.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's weird about it, because like medicine, animal handling is wisdom, but nature
Nature should be wisdom.
Nature
yeah.
is wisdom, I thought.
It's not. It's intelligence.
Oh,
This
okay.
is really dumb.
Well, I guess nature is tied to history in that sense, so I guess it's
I
kind
think
of...
it's mainly nature, as in like you're able to identify certain kinds of like plants and animals.
Yeah, maybe I should just do perception checks for, like, tracking.
Probably.
All
Okay.
right.
Or survival checks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
either way.
Because those are both wisdom.
All right. Sorry, how long have we been going?
An hour, 7 minutes.
Got it. So, continuing forward, he walks out, and it doesn't seem to be a very windy/snowy day, and you can see everything quite clearly. He is walking towards one of the cliffs.
Okay, I'm gonna follow him.
All right. Eventually, he sits down at the edge of the cliff, and he looks out towards, like, down the mountain side and overhead, where there seems to be different rocks and trees, and you can kind of see the forests.
Okay. I'm just gonna look over there.
All right. He looks over at you and says, "Sit."
I sit down.
All right. He says, "How much do you know about our tribe?"
I know that we're a people of survival, that we hunt, that we're a strong people.
He says, "Yes, all of us are, but you have much to learn." He asks you, "Have you heard of the 4 tribes?"
No, Father.
He tells
Down,
you that
Tyler.
sorry, Anakagaloth?
Anakalaga.
Anakalaga, sorry. He says that Anakalaga was made long ago by one man, one strong man, the biggest in all of the land. He set it up with his family, and eventually people joined in. Our race, the Goliaths. He founded a home for us. And he says, this is where we live, is where he founded. And eventually, his family split into 4 sections, 4 tribes, under one name, one household. He tells you that the 4 tribes all live in harmony right now, but they used to be at war, and we always need to keep them in check. I am the leader of my tribe. And he tells you that the 4 tribes are the Guardian tribe, which I'm a part of, and I'm the leader of. And he says, this is because that I am the strongest of our tribe, and I protect us. And I am on the council with all the other tribesmen. And he tells you that he is the head of the Guardian tribe. He also tells you that your mother, well, she's a part of a different tribe. He says that her family lineage and the one that she's chosen when it comes the day of growing up, that she chose the Battle tribe, which are mainly hunters. And he also says there are 2 other tribes, but one of them has fallen off the face of the earth. He says the one that's left is called the Storm tribe, which are Goliaths filled with fury and wage war on the rival areas. Not us, because we have a peace treaty with them. That's why we have the council. And he says that without the council, the Storm tribe would surely attack. But we keep it peaceful for now. And finally, there's the Wild tribe. Not many people know where they live, but when we had you, we knew of a secret area that they might live in. When you got sick, we brought you to them, and they healed you with whatever medicine they had. And they made us promise not to tell of their whereabouts. They no longer reside in the Pact of Anakalaga, but they're still respected as one of our own. Does this make sense to you, young one?
I'm like comprehending what he's saying. I'm like, yes, Dad.
In 1 year, you're going to be able to choose your own path. Do not let me or my mother or your mother influence you. And he says, you're going to have to choose one of the tribes. Obviously, you won't be able to join the wild tribe unless you know their whereabouts, but either way, you're going to have to come of age next year.
Yes, Father. So at 15?
Yes, at 15.
Okay. Yes, Father.
All right. He just sits there and watches the trees blow in the wind.
Father,
Yes, my son.
how did you get to where you are now?
He said, well, I trained myself just as you've been. My father before me, he was in the same tribe, the Guardian tribe. And the more I learned about the Guardians, the more I became strong and then more in touch with my ancestors. You see, our bloodline is strong. And he beats his chest. He says to you that you can do more studies on the ancestors of our tribe, or you can go your own path. That is up to you. But to where I got today, I had to get the consent from the elders and the consent from the past lives of our guardians and ancestors.
Lore drop, write it down.
Yeah. Yeah. Father,
Yes, my son.
when I was younger, I noticed that you would come home bruised and bloodied and everything. Why was that?
Make a persuasion check.
That's a 4.
He says, well, I won't go into too much detail, but in order to keep the title that I have of the head of the Guardians, I have to compete in tournaments, see if I'm still the strongest. I ask for the Guardians to protect me, and if they are on my side, then they help me win the battles.
Do you have to kill to keep your title?
Only when necessary. The only tribe that wishes to kill their own men is the Storm Tribe. They take every battle and every duel as fights to the death. Us, on the other hand,
Really?
understand that we are family. And even though one might get beaten and bloodied, and might even lose one day, we will still take care of them.
Wow.
Oh.
Why is the Storm Tribe so angry?
Some say that it's because of where they reside. And he points up towards the mountaintops where there are clouds sort of surrounding the peaks, so you can't see the tips. He says they reside up there. They have their own houses, their own families, and they teach their children much different than us. They don't come down to Inakagala very much, but when they do, they always stick out like a sore thumb.
How would I be able to tell?
Well, it's they always have a symbol on their face, and he draws a line like where his eyes are down, seeming like 2 lines down the eyes, and he says they always wear face paint. And
I see.
make a history check.
Okay. Nice. That's a 3.
Oh, you vaguely remember maybe a couple people in the village that have those face paint markings, but the only one that you can really remember is when you were out in the wilderness lost,
Right,
that man who
yeah.
walked by had face paint on.
Okay. Okay. Father,
Yes, my son.
how would I speak to our ancestors?
He says, "You won't be able to do that till you're much, much older. But that's only if you take the path, the tribe of the Guardians."
Yes, Father.
All right.
Okay, out of character.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to think. This is sounding like totem warrior barbarian stuff. Or like ancestral barbarian. But I'm
Maybe
not
it
sure.
is.
All right. So what do you guys think?
I think
It's exciting.
yeah. I think the storm think those are gonna be berserker barbarians.
I was gonna say you should just do storm one so that you're not either of your parents. You just choose your own
Yeah.
path. But the guardian one also seems pretty cool because you can talk to your ancestors and get their
I mean,
advice and power.
You could, okay, there are multiple things you could do here. I mean, these are just suggestions from me to learn more about them before you choose. Because one thing I would
Right.
recommend is learn about them before you choose, because you don't want to be
Right.
stuck with something that you don't know anything about. Because obviously, your dad is the head of the Guardian tribe, and your mother is a
Right.
part of the Battle tribe as like a hunter. And you know very little about the Wild tribe. You also know that you visited him once in one of the cave systems. But you also know where the Storm tribe kind of resides up on the mountaintops.
See, I would go to the storm tribe, but I also don't want to get yeeted as soon as I walk in.
It will
But, man,
literally
there's a
throw you
pact.
off the mountain.
There's a pact. But they could break that anytime they wanted to.
Ronnie, if you were playing Tyler's character, which one would you choose to learn more
That's-
about first?
Kind of what I was saying. I'm not sure if I would go with. I would either go with Guardian or Storm. But
yeah.
the Storm one is kind of scary. Yeah, the Storm one definitely has the most risk, because if you go up there and they decide not to accept you, or decide that that's the perfect opportunity to break their pact, they could literally just kill the leader of the Guardian tribe's son right then and there.
Right.
I know I haven't played much of Skyrim, but all this stuff in the mountaintops really reminds me of like the Dragonborn when you first like get to choose stuff.
I haven't played a
Okay.
lot. I do know a little bit about Skyrim. But
Yeah, at the very beginning of the game, you like go to the mountaintops and you scale mountains. This is what it kind of reminds me of.
Oh. I
Yeah.
mean,
I'm gonna find out. Dang.
I'd say think about your character. Does he?
Right.
Does
He's
he
more
like?
family oriented. Is
Then
the thing.
then he would be probably more
Guardian.
like. Now, ultimately, the choice is yours, so don't take it
Right.
100%.
But it would make
but,
sense
like,
for my character if I was guardian. Like
What?
I'm preparing
Yeah.
myself like my dad did. I'm basically going down the same road my dad did. So
You kind of want to follow in your dad's
Voice crack.
footsteps. It seems like.
yeah, I
Then-
even said I want to be strong like my dad.
Then yeah, it would make sense if you really do respect him and
Guardian.
revere him like that to follow that. But
Right. It'd be different if I was rebellious. If I was rebellious, then I'd probably be a storm. But
Right.
I'm more
is this the
family
Divergent
oriented.
movie when she has to choose which faction?
I've never seen Divergent. Is it similar?
When you come of age, you have to choose which faction you're going to be in.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like Hunger Games, maybe.
Yeah, and she chooses she really needs to choose the one that her parents are from to keep peace, because there are a lot of rumors going on about that faction that says like, oh, they're like abusing their kids, all this stuff. And then her brother chooses a different faction, and then she also chooses a different faction. So that
okay.
kind of just sets off a chain of events that leads to war.
So I'm gonna find out more about it, but it makes sense for my character if I was a guardian. But I'm just gonna spend the rest of the day just getting to know my dad a little bit more, because it seems like we never talk at all.
All right. With that, I think we should take a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
So just give us one moment and we'll be right back. All right, and we're back.
Father. Or father.
He looks over at you.
This is a little bit of a weirder question. But why do you always do that thing when you talk to me?
Sorry, out of character. What are you talking about?
He like when he when he nods.
It's just like, you know how people go, when they nod, right?
Okay, yeah. All right. Never mind. Just kidding.
He's
Just kidding.
You know, basic social cues. I don't know.
Your 8 in charisma is showing.
Yeah. Father,
Yes, my son.
how do I become more does he seem like a pretty menacing guy?
Yes, definitely.
How do I make myself more menacing like you are?
He looks over at you and says, "You must do what is right for you, and whatever comes after just happens. Don't strive to be menacing or a certain way with your personality. Just do what feels right in your heart."
That's an
Okay.
anime.
I just kind of like look over, kind of like embarrassed.
He looks over at you and says, "You have 1 year to choose. Choose wisely." And he start walking back to the village.
Yes, Father.
All right. So, what do you choose to do?
So I'm still at the cliff.
Yes, you are.
Okay, I'm just gonna look off into the distance at that storm mountain thing.
All right. And as you do, you realize the clouds and the wind is much heavier and more powerful up there.
All right. I'm going to turn around, and go back to the village.
All right. So, as you do, I'm going to skip time just a little bit more for a couple months. Just let me know. Also, if you would like to look on the Twitch, I'm going to pull up a map of the village for you.
Cool.
Let's
So,
go.
this is your village.
All right. Okay. Okay.
Oh
Just
wow,
load it
that's
in.
pretty
Cool.
small. I mean,
Yeah, that is
compared to
it.
Nabia, which is like a huge city.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm assuming the big building is the dining hall.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Where's my house?
Your house is right to the right of the dining hall. You see that little rectangle in the middle?
Yes.
That's your house.
Okay. So we're like right there. Okay. Dang. Where's the monastery place?
The monastery place. What are you talking about?
Where Gree taught me how to fight.
That
like,
was just
hand to hand.
outside in the
Oh,
snow.
that's outside.
Yeah, that was just in like
oh.
the middle of the village.
Okay. Question.
Yes.
Did that hand-to-hand stuff, did that just increase my strength, or did I learn martial arts from that?
No, you did not learn martial arts from that. You just learned how to increase your strength and constitution through that.
Okay, gotcha.
And
Gotcha.
for roleplay stuff,
Thought
you're
I'd
better
ask.
better at fighting, and you know like your fighting style.
Okay, cool. All right. Man.
So I can also describe
gonna-
to you a couple more places in the village now that we have the map, if you'd like.
Yes. Yep.
So the south road, no one really takes. The eastern road is actually the one that you and your mother take every time you go out hunting, and then eventually you go off the path and go into the forest. The right path seems to lead somewhere up the mountains. There's also around you, well, obviously there's the dining hall and your house to the right, and over to the left area is where you train outside with the fellow students. That little rectangle place, like that really small one in the middle, that's actually a
Yeah.
well. That's where you guys get your water. And also,
Okay.
down left is a bit of a couple shops that are there. You see like a general shop. You know your village doesn't really use money all that much, but when they do need something like extra special, they can buy it from there. You also know that a mason shop is over there where they just help out with building village stuff. You also know that there's a wood carver building over there also.
Okay. So I want to go to the place that like builds stuff.
Which one? Mason or wood carver?
Wood carver.
All right. So you enter in and you see a familiar face. Recognize it to be one of the village folk, and he seems to be chopping away at some wood.
Okay. What time of day is it?
It seems to be midday.
Good afternoon, sir.
He looks at you and says, "What? Sorry?
What's his name?"
His name is Adbur.
And then how do you spell that? ADBER?
Adbur.
Wait, say it one more time.
Adbur.
DBUR. So
Yeah.
Adbur. Yeah. Adbur. I was wondering if you could show me how to be a wood carver.
He looks over at you and says, "I'm not taking apprentices."
None at all.
He looks at you and says, "Well, if you really want work, then you're going to need to learn how to do it before you get paid." So he tells you that it's going to cost if you want to learn under him. He's not taking any apprentices for free.
Dang. Out of character. This guy is like... Okay.
Tyler, do you have any money at all?
No, I don't have any money at all.
Oof.
Yeah. Well, I haven't been trading or anything either. My guy's not a merchant.
What? Your character isn't a merchant?
I know. Crazy.
He steps down and he starts making some arrows.
Okay, I'm just gonna watch how he makes the arrows.
All right. He looks over at you and says, "No free lessons. Either you're buying something or get out of here."
All right. Well, I'm just gonna leave.
All right, you leave. You also know there's a mason shop where they build most of the town's buildings, and you also know that most of the guardian tribe / battle tribe lives on the right side. Meanwhile, all visitors to the village, which aren't very many, but there's every once in a while a Goliath who lives on their own in the wilderness, will stay in the left side up above. Meanwhile, the left and to the bottom side is more like renting houses and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Dang. I'm just... Man, I don't even really know what to prioritize at this point. Man, I'm just gonna keep going with hunting stuff,
All right.
I guess.
What are your current stats?
16 strength, 8 dexterity, 10 constitution, 8 intelligence, 10 wisdom, and 7 charisma.
All right. What was the other? It wasn't a wood carver. Was it like a mason or
It
something?
was a mason, yeah.
Maybe try there to see if you could at least earn money from him.
Yeah.
I think with masonry, your strength would help a lot. You'd probably be good at it naturally. You could earn some money there and then use that money to learn how to do the wood carving.
That's true.
If you wanted to. That would also probably take most of your childhood.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'll go over there. See
And
what...
the more you increase your strength past this point, the more it's going to cost your pool. So just keep that in mind.
Right.
Well, don't keep that in mind because it's supposed to just be like role play. So
Right.
whatever you would
yeah.
actually do that.
I'll go see what the Mason's about.
All right. So as you enter in the mason's workshop, you see multiple people mixing some sort of cement-like substance and also chiseling some stones. They all kind of look at you and look down back at their work.
All right. Do I know the name of the owner of the shop?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
His name's Grumbar.
What is it?
Grumbar.
Grumbar. All right. How big are these dudes?
They're all like big Goliath, so big.
Like, are they like really built?
Yeah, they're
dudes?
really built dudes.
All right.
Some swole boys out here.
They some swole boys. It's because the map is up. That's why you can't see our faces. So, all right. I'm gonna ask him about work.
All right, so you approach him and he says, "What can I do for you?"
Hello. I was looking for some work.
Yeah, well, do you have experience as a mason?
I don't, but I was hoping someone would teach me.
Well, we don't teach, we just work.
Well, can I see how you guys do it and then
Make a persuasion
try?
check.
That's a 12.
He says it will cost you, but we are sure to teach whoever just wants to sit down and watch.
Well, I don't have any money at all.
He looks over at you and says, "Well, get a job. We have work to do."
Trying to get a job, but everyone's telling me I have to pay to work.
You have to pay to learn.
Pay to learn. Yeah.
I mean, that's fair. Maybe since your dad's like the leader of the village, maybe he has money or something. Maybe ask him
Yeah,
like, "Hey,
I mean, unless
what
I just
should I do?"
like hunt stuff and hope.
Well, that's
like-
true. You could hunt and sell what you get for
Yeah.
money.
Yeah. So I'm
So
just gonna
far,
do
all
that.
of your hunt, since you work with your mother, has been going towards feeding the village.
Right. So I'm just gonna keep going hunting with my mom.
Okay.
I
And
would
then
keep doing
maybe-
that, but also if you can like catch some smaller animals like on
Right,
the side
so I can
and sell
skin.
them, or like get their skin or something, I would try to
Yeah.
do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You could try to become proficient in like making leather and tanning hides and
Right.
stuff, and then
So
you
the
could
working
at
suit,
least
yeah.
get some armor for yourself.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
I'll do that.
we're gonna skip into a couple months. What are you prioritizing in?
Hunting, learning to skin.
Okay. So first, for hunting, I'm gonna make you make a perception check.
Ew, that is a 9.
When you're hunting with your mother, she's doing most of the work.
Oof. Okay, I'm gonna learn how to skin.
How to skin. All right. So, okay. So before you can skin animals, you need the right supplies. So give me a second.
Right.
Oh, I just thought of something. When you were a kid and you went to go to like either the butcher or whoever was chopping up that animal, they said you could come learn from
Right.
them.
Right. Learn how to be a cook.
All right. So, you do not have the right items for skinning anything. You would need at least a knife,
All
a
right.
mallet, an egger, a hole punch, a thread, and leather scraps.
Oh my goodness. All right.
Yeah, pike is
I'm gonna
kind of
cook.
hard to skin with.
Yeah, I'm gonna cook.
All right. So you're gonna go to the main area where the dining hall is, and then try to find some people that will teach you how to cook and like cook for the village?
Yeah.
All right. Give me a second. All right. So as you approach, you see multiple familiar faces, and they all wave hello to you. And one of the women says, "Oh, hello. What can I do for you?"
Hello. I was wanting to know if I could learn how to cook from you guys.
She looks over at you and says, "Well, of course. You're always welcome here. As long as you are cooking for the tribe, you're welcome to learn anything you want."
Yep. Yep.
She says that we know that you haven't been really around here much, so any misstep isn't going to cost you your job. But we want to ask, what do you want to be doing while you're a cook? Do you want to be skinning the animals, or do you want to be cooking the meat?
Tyler, this is your chance.
I know. I want to skin the animals.
Yes.
All right. And as you say that, she says, "Well, now that you're here, we won't be paying you as you make your work because it will be shoddy at best. But if you want to skin some animals, we'll give you the right supplies for it."
That'd be great.
All right. So, out of character, out of game, whenever you're in the main dining hall, you will have the right utensils to skin animals.
Cool.
Nice. So as long as you go hunting and get something, you can bring it back to the dining hall to skin it.
Okay. Right.
So you've already prioritized hunting animals. What else do you want to prioritize on?
Learning to skin well.
All right. So I'm gonna make you make a survival check.
My, it's delayed on the stream. So okay, it looks like I'm retarded. Okay, what is it?
Survival check.
That is an 11.
11. Got it. So we're learning at about a medium pace how to use the skinning tools. Most of the jobs you completely botch, so you have to throw everything away.
Oof.
So, anything else you want to prioritize in over the next couple months?
You're not ruining all the meat for the village, just the skins.
Yeah. I want to learn how to communicate well with customers and stuff.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go communicate with the ancestors.
So you wish to, okay, customers. Do you mean like the village folk who eat here?
Yes.
So you want to ask if you can serve them?
Basically, yeah.
Okay, make a persuasion check.
Cool.
Do it, Tyler.
That's 7.
7.
Never mind.
They say
You can't.
maybe it's best if you don't do that for now.
Okay. All right.
Like,
Cool.
just trying not to hurt your feelings. They're like, what if you don't?
Yeah.
They say you're doing a great job leatherworking, and you should continue doing that.
I just look at like my botched work. I'm like, okay.
And they give you a smile.
Okay. Well, I'm going to prioritize talking to my ancestors.
How
Or
are you going to do that?
attempting to. Where?
How are you going to do that?
How am I going to
Well,
do
I guess,
that?
and where? By proxy.
Well, my dad never told me, so I'm literally just gonna be outside of the town, like trying to like talk, and I have no idea what I'm doing.
All right. So you're just going to like talk to your ancestors, like praying?
Yeah.
Okay. Because you do know how to pray. Your family and your village isn't like religious at any point, but you do notice that your dad prays quite a bit. So do you wish to just copy what he does?
Yeah.
All right. So where do you do it?
I'm going to go like in the woods, like on the outskirts of this village, and try to pray.
Okay. Got it. So I'm going to have you make a religion check. And what are you praying about? What do you say?
I'm looking for guidance as to what I should do.
Okay.
10.
10. All right. So you pray, and eventually you establish a good way of praying and like doing it formally. So one last thing to prioritize in?
Man. I am going to prioritize. I mean, I guess really the only thing I can do is just getting stronger. Because I tried prioritizing hunting, skinning, speaking to people, trying to pray. So I guess I'm just gonna keep doing what I know I can do.
All right. So you're just going to double down on everything you already said?
Yes, and like being stronger.
All right. So
punch type thing.
I'll keep that in mind. So the next couple years happen, or not, next couple months happen, sorry. And you eventually get halfway through the year. And your mother approaches you and says, well, I know you've been struggling with hunting, and I think I might have something to help.
What is it, Mom?
She brings you outside, and she shows you a new oxen that is you don't think your family has had before. And as she walks over, she shows you the pouch on the side and opens it up. On the inside, you see it has a short bow with 20 arrows, and also what seems to be like ingredients for a compass.
Okay.
So just put short bow, 20 arrows, and then makeshift compass.
Okay.
She says to you that I think you're getting old enough to be able to hunt on your own. Please don't die out there. And when you do bring back something, please make sure there's enough for the village.
Yes, Mother.
All right. And as she sends you off, she says, good luck to your hunts, and make sure you let me know on how they're going, and if you have any questions.
Yes, Mom.
All right. So you now have an oxen that brings you out into the forest. How long have we been going?
My animal?
Yes. Well, it's your family's animal, so you have to share it with them. So maybe don't put it down your inventory.
Maybe don't let it die.
I have an oxen in my inventory.
Yeah.
Cool.
Also, how long have we been going?
Casually.
I'm just carrying it in my pocket. Okay.
How long have we been going?
Not very far. I'm gonna be looking for
for
No,
the
he
stream.
means, like, how long has the stream?
Oh, gotcha. An hour 50 minutes.
50? You said?
Yeah.
All right. And with that, I think we should end it there.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you all for watching. Is there anything you two want to say before we end it?
I'm excited for Tyler to do his next one. It's going to be interesting to see how he gets, like, what he does to get to level 1 and basically what he does from there.
Yeah. Do you guys have any predictions? That's what's gonna happen.
Oh, I have no clue.
I have an idea of what's gonna happen, but I don't want to.
I have a sneaking feeling the Storm Tribe is gonna not be as peaceful as we think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
think
what
they're
you're
gonna attack. I think the Fire Nation's gonna attack.
No.
Nice.
No.
Yeah.
With that, thank you all for watching. Make sure you watch the stream archive over at YouTube when it gets uploaded if you didn't get to catch the entire thing. And I believe our next stream will be tomorrow at about 11:20. So thank you all for watching. And
that's in the PM.
Yes, in the PM. So thank you all for watching, and